Hello, everyone. Welcome to the MovieJar podcast, a podcast where we talk shit about each other's opinions and give our favorite characters cookies for their time. My name is Kaya. I'm a film student.
My name is Alex, and I'm finally going back to work.
And my name's Karina, the disabled person they keep in the basement.
We do keep
Okay.
it in the basement. No, we do. Do you want me to
So,
throw like a chicken leg down there?
Yes, please. I'm very hungry. Uh,
so
No, we don't
you
feed them.
you may have noticed, dear viewers, that something's a little bit different. We may be missing some people.
Yeah,
Um,
Chris is in Korea.
Chris is dead. Okay,
Yeah,
so
Chris went to North
yeah, no,
Korea.
he was my most recent meal. I got very hungry after 2 months.
We sent what was left of him to North Korea to fight in the People's Army.
yeah, so Chris is in Korea, and we didn't realize when he was going. So, pff,
And then there's also
and
MIA.
Cameron was okay. Cameron's internet probably died. Cameron
Probably.
may join later. Who knows? But yeah. So this is so sorry that we're not talking about School of Rock. Um, but this is a bonus episode which we had sort of teased may happen when Alex and I went to Winton, um, where we watched the
The Knight's Tale.
I was gonna make a joke about how brilliant movie, absolute cinema, but I can't, I don't have it in me. This movie
You
made me
can't do
so
it with
angry.
like your soul
This
started
movie
to
made me
burn.
so angry. Oh my god.
I'll
Like,
tell you,
yeah.
oh no, you go, Karina. Actually, a fun fact: Karina here is a system, which means they have DID. So if you know anything about Split, I'll let Karina take the explanation for this one.
Unyielding rage. Unyielding goddamn rage. How much rage do I have for this film? I feel like in my current state, I would kill M. Night Shyamalan if he was standing in front of me.
For legal
You can
reasons, that's a
quote me
joke.
on that.
Legal reasons, that's a joke.
For not so legal reasons, I'm telling the truth.
Karina, I gotta be honest. I feel like if you I don't know. I feel like if you tried to strangle him or something, or you tried to punch him, I feel like your hands would just start dislocating. I almost said disconnecting, like we're playing
You
a video
see-
game.
that makes it better because it goes from just beating him with sticks to hitting him with whips.
Jesus.
That makes it more effective. Dear viewers, this is just the tip of the iceberg for how much I hate this man. If you could even call him that.
Whether or not we'll be giving cookies this episode is up for debate because that would mean we'd have to remember the names of the characters.
Nah. You know what? Nah, we're not giving cookies. I'm giving fucking KFC biscuits for America. Dry ass motherfuckers.
I was just gonna say poison, but that works too, I guess.
Nah. Poison kills them. Dry ass biscuits make them
give like a character like a different type of poisonous
them a mental disorder.
substance. What are you talking about, Karina? They have DID.
You know what I mean. You know what I goddamn mean.
What are you talking about? They're superhuman. They have DID. They have superpowers.
Don't
This
you know
movie
that
is so
Paul-
stupid. Oh!
Don't you know that trauma is the next level of human evolution? That if you undergo like horrific pain, then it's like
You can climb on walls like Spider-Man.
Viewers at home, I am currently doing the Shinji chair position.
as, as the party with the least to say. I'm saying that because yeah, as the party with the least to say, I will give a brief summary for this movie so that way you don't have to watch it. Basically, there is this guy named Harry.
Kevin.
Barry is the
Kevin.
host. The system's official legal name is fucking Kevin Wendell Crumb.
Kendall
Yeah,
Windle Crumb.
Kevin-
Kendall Windle Crumb.
Yeah, so there's this guy named Kevin who's got 23 personalities in his head. They say that. even though they use disassociated of identity disorder. But it's like, okay, he's
Like,
got
make up your mind.
23. He's got 23 different identities, different alters, and they currently are having an inner war where three of them believe in this superhuman form known as the Beast, which is, a fucking an alter which makes him grow in size and have really big fingies and wants to eat the impure,
And it's
which is,
bulletproof.
yeah,
Is bulletproof and can climb on walls and can run really fast.
And can,
yeah,
And
like, tear open, like, metal bars.
and according to spoilers by the way. Ooh, yeah. According to the film is quote unquote believed to be an amalgamation of the animals in the location because it takes place in a zoo.
Yeah, so basically, the plot of the film. See, that's not even the main plot. The plot of the
It's
film
not.
is this really odd kidnapping thing where one of the alters kidnaps three girls and then locks them inside of a room, and then the plot is them being tortured, and then one of the girls, who's played by Anya Taylor-Joy,
I was so shocked
um,
when I saw her. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, it's
Huh?
her
Huh? Huh?
first. It is the fifth film she's played in.
Bro,
yeah, to be
I did
honest,
I did like the Leonardo DiCaprio, like, pointing at my screen. I'm like,
Hey, what are you doing here?
what are you doing
to
here?
be honest. To be honest, she needed the roles at that time, so I don't
Yeah.
hold it against her, but like
She
it
was
was a
also
shock
one
to
of
see her
the
anyway.
very few acting performances I actually liked.
So James McAvoy and Anya Taylor-Joy essentially go band for band on making this movie somewhat watchable.
Yeah, honestly,
And
the
then
only way that I could sit through it. Oh, that
and
and that and 4 liters of a mix one of our other alters made that has been dubbed red wine supernova.
yeah, so essentially the it, the plot doesn't do much for most of the film outside of them repeatedly trying to escape only to be captured and then have their clothes taken off. Keep it in mind, in text these characters are meant to be underage. Do with that what you will.
Also,
Um
it's
What, they're like
also like
16?
the
yeah.
reason why. Well, yeah, they're high schoolers. The reason why they have to take off their clothes is because the alter who did the kidnapping and is the one who we probably interact with the most in the movie has
I
OCD and their clothes got dirty. So let's
yeah,
add OCD to the list of disorders and mental
I'd like to
illnesses
point
that they have mischaracterized.
for those of you who are also annoyed, even more annoying for this, just kind of digging into this a bit more. The titular alter that kid makes the second most interactive with alter in the movie, does the initial kidnapping of the three girls, tells her to remove her clothes because they're dirty. This alter is also a pedophile.
Yep.
As it was described in the movie, he has a quote-unquote proclivity to watch young girls dance naked.
He also like tried to sexually assault one of them and then actually did.
He
Like,
tried to,
well, no,
and
no, no,
then
the like near the end of the movie.
oh yes, yes.
Yeah, it's wild, and then it's revealed that Anya
Newsflash, that's not how
Taylor-Joy's
D&D works.
character. It's then revealed that Anya Taylor-Joy's character, is actually, see, the whole thing with the Beast is when he wants to kill the impure, it's because he wants to kill people who weren't traumatized. Which, just to stop my rant here, is the first plot hole we'll mention, and it's one of the biggest, which is that by the time he's eating them, they're pretty pure. Because if I was trapped in a basement for 3 days being prepared to be eaten by a vicious British bald man, then yeah, that'd be pretty traumatizing.
Yeah,
And it's like,
it's a
I
big
know M. Night Shyamalan didn't think of that.
but like even just the idea is fucked up to think about. Because the implication of the statement, he says in the big monologue towards the end of the film, that those who have not experienced trauma and suffering in their life, who haven't been ripped apart piece by piece, don't understand or they don't have a true care for the whole of their body as they haven't experienced it being broken apart. And that is a really fucked up and awful mentality to put into the world.
Yeah, and also
Yeah,
the fact that like the reason Anya Taylor-Joy is traumatized is because she was like groomed by her uncle.
yeah,
And
and it's
There's a
implied to,
lot
yeah,
of weird
weird shit.
stuff.
out of every director to cover the topic of my dad died of a heart attack, so my pedophile uncle has adopted me and has abused me for years. M. Night Shyamalan, it doesn't even approach the waiting list for that list.
Hmm.
Like, the fact that
By
he
the,
thought it
oh,
was perfectly okay to add such a odd storyline and then have it be the thing that saves Anya Taylor-Joy's life is
that's
just
fucked to think about. Oh, by the way,
Fuck this movie. Oh, I hate
for
this
those who
movie
have
so
seen this movie,
much.
we've talked about this. But by the way, for those at home, I'm also gonna drop some spoilers for Glass here because I've watched that before as well. Um, Anya Taylor-Joy's character goes to fucking fall in love with the Horde
Wait,
in
what?
Glass.
Wait, what?
what?
That's a plot point. She falls
Uh.
in love with him.
Alright, you know what? My curiosity's been sated. I'm not watching that movie. What the
I don't
fuck?
want to. That's really odd.
Oh yeah. For
Glass
the
takes place a year later.
only a year.
It takes place a year later.
Wait. Surely on the wiki it says how old she is in Split.
She's
Because
like,
if it's
she's
only a year
16.
later.
She's 16.
Oh.
Yes. Why, M. Night? I know you're awful, but why? Sorry. Continuing on further with
Yeah.
more of the plot points and discussion
So
about awful
yeah,
thought
for
processes and thoughts to put into the world.
yeah
Well,
for
I
I
for
need
mean,
more booze.
context, Split is a part of the Unbreakable series, which it you only find that out at like the very end of the movie, halfway through
Last 3
like the
minutes.
credits or something like that. It's like I feel like
It
it's
is
like
the last scene before the credits, and
yeah,
it's like
and
10
it's
seconds.
like oh they call him like the horde or whatever, and like wasn't there some other like psycho who was like in a wheelchair and was weird and like yeah
yeah,
Mr.
that's Mr.
Glass.
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 It's like that's fucking okay.
Glass.
Okay, Bruce
Like
Willis.
15 years after Unbreakable came out.
Yeah, that's because M. Night was personally bummed with the fact that Unbreakable didn't do so well.
Yeah.
So then he bought the rights for the Unbreakable character and then was like, okay,
Uh,
what if I just include that at the end of the film? And
wasn't
I'm
wasn't the original thing that he asked the original like the studio that had Unbreakable, could I use him as a cameo for this? And then they said yes, and then later he went on to buy the rights
yeah, but he
because
never
he
told.
connected them, and he can't do anything if he cameos it but doesn't fully connect them in another movie.
Yeah, either way, he bought the rights and then because apparently he calls the character Split in the interview. He says that Split was meant to be uh part of Unbreakable and it was going to be like a really long film and it's like, well, that would have been worse. So at least
That would
I'm
have been
glad that
entirely
didn't happen.
worse. No one would
But
have watched it, just like no one watches the Snyder cut.
but to finish off the plot because really I can summarize it. It's just torture porn. Uh
Yeah.
the beast comes out, brutally kills his therapist in a way that made me feel actually just sad. Um, then then
I
proceeds
have
to
so many
eat,
words on the conduct of that therapy, of that
uh,
therapist.
and then proceeds to actually, eat the two girls. We only see it happening to one of them, but the other one is a brief shot, and it's like this is a fetish. Like, there's no way that M. Night didn't purposefully, or someone on the production team didn't purposefully make it so that way these girls would basically be down to their underwear and then being tortured and eaten
Yeah,
because it feels so fetishy. And then Anya Taylor-Joy has to run, and the thing that saves her is her taking off her shirt to show the
that
horde
she's got various scars and shit.
Yeah, that she's got scars like cigarette burns and knife marks, and
All the
and
way like down, all the way around her like chest and the
particularly her
nether
waist.
regions.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, okay, this is a weird movie. And then
Uh,
the beast proceeds
yeah.
to go, "You're pure."
Rejoice, and I'm like, no,
I'm like, no.
don't
I'm like,
rejoice.
fuck do you mean rejoice? What do
Do
And
you
not
then
mean?
rejoice.
the creme de la creme to this movie, basically what happens is that she gets out because some like guy who works at the zoo is the only person in this film to have empathy and is like, well, shit, there's this partially naked woman in the sewers. What the hell? And then
She's
make
injured.
sure,
Let's get her to safety and help her
yeah,
move.
yeah, help her move. And then the cops are like, hey, your uncle is here. Do you want to go home with him? And then
It's
it's left
just
entirely ambiguous, and it focuses on like a lion statue with an arrow going through the go with an arrow going through the another it's like a male lion standing over a dead female lion with like an arrow going through it, and it's like,
the worst part was it was a solid minute of just them staring at each other and cutting between the faces with no change.
This is why I'm glad I
yeah,
watched this at 1.5 times speed.
it was you feel like there's meant to be some sort of symbolism there, but there isn't. I I can't think of any sort of symbolism that would come from that. Is she gonna kill her uncle? Is she just gonna have to live with her uncle? For
Like, there's
like,
so many ambiguous endings, and it's not like left open ended in the way that like most media does, so the fans can speculate and enjoy that speculation. It's like, what context clues do we have? The answer is like fuck all. Yeah, there's the idea of show don't tell, but you can't not show and not tell us. If that makes sense in that context.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just felt really odd to have the plot line of this girl has a pedophile abusive uncle for her storyline to end ambiguously and just with never-ending abuse, because the theory of this movie, despite what one Reddit comment said, and I'll get to that later, the theory of this movie is trauma is the next step in human evolution, allegedly. In the text, the lady psychologist, which Karina will have many notes on, the lady psychologist is bringing up examples of DID patients who have healed themselves through having different alters, which is like not how that works at all. And it's like the whole myth of if you lose one of your senses, the others will be enhanced, because that's not true. You don't become Daredevil if you lose your eyes. You're now just blind. Uh,
You're telling me I can't be Daredevil?
No, you cannot.
you cannot be just like you can't be Batman. You can't be Daredevil.
Why
Okay,
can't I be
Okay.
Batman?
your
Wait.
parents are alive.
Okay. Okay, we actually do find out what happens. What actually ends up happening after that.
Oh
You
yeah.
don't find out if you don't watch Glass.
Yeah, I'm not
Fuck
watching
you.
Glass.
I'm not watching
Yeah,
Glass.
yeah, no. So to also say people are wondering, oh, does she not? You have to wait 4 years to find out, and turns out 3 weeks after the events of Split, she takes her uncle to court, has him sent to jail, and she's with an adoptive family.
Oh, because it's just that easy.
Yeah, 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 fucking weeks. I wish it was that easy.
Bruh.
No, I wish it was that easy just to be like, yeah, my adoptive uncle did all this. It's like, that's not how the law works. Anyway, okay, that sucks. But like, they repeatedly say the Anya Taylor-Joy's character only survives throughout the entirety of the movie, not just at the end, because she's traumatized. Because I guess the alters are like abusing them, and she recognizes some of the tactics, right? And
He's
they
used to
they
this, like telling her friend, "Pee on yourself," because it'll make him not want to do anything to her sexually because it's gross.
That was a funny shot when it zoomed in on Anya Taylor-Joy and she just whispers, "Pee yourself."
You should piss yourself now.
Ow.
But
I mean,
like
okay. To be fair, that is like a valid, like,
that's a valid tactic.
tactic.
But
Doesn't
it's the
doesn't
only
work,
time it
but
really comes
half
up.
the time. But yeah, it's weird. Hello, Cameron.
Oh, look.
Bring!
Uh
Oh no. Oh no.
I
Dave.
am so sorry.
Did you forget? Did you
you
forget?
Completely. I audibly, like, gasped for air.
Alex called you.
They called you on your phone and it went to voicemail.
Yeah, I'm. Oh my god.
Nice.
It's okay. We're only like 20 minutes in.
Yeah, something like that.
I was like, oh yeah, Chris is in Korea still. We're not recording. Even though I literally sent a message
Saying,
2
"Oh,
hours
sure."
ago. 2 hours ago. I have a fucking goldfish brain. Oh my
Did you
god.
take
You
your
watched
meds?
the
Did you
movie,
take your
right?
meds?
Oh, my meds have worn off, and
Oh yikes.
yes, I
That makes
have
sense.
watched the movie, but not recently.
Okay.
Yeah, I rewatched. We all rewatched a bit of it recently. It's.
Oh my god.
Oh. So Cameron, you want to know what I did while you know what we did while watching it?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like had Catra front, and they said, "Catra, make me something strong."
Oh my god. I
And so,
literally.
I don't know what she made, but she poured a liter of red wine into the mix at one point, and it's called Red Wine Supernova.
Oh my god.
It was 4 liters. I have just finished it.
I've literally just been doing. I've been building Warhammer models for the past 2 hours.
No.
To be fair, that's a better use for your time than discussing the plot of Split.
Yeah,
Anyway,
true. But
back to Split. Anya Taylor-Joy and this character is like, I actually, when I saw the scene of "Let's Play Animals," I actually audibly went, ugh.
Yeah,
Wait, hang
that
on.
was-
I don't remember that. What?
there's a whole scene where the uncle, it's like takes place after the father's death, and
No, it's on the camping trip with
You know.
the father and the uncle.
Oh,
that's right.
oh,
yeah, no,
oh,
and the
oh,
uncle like
oh, I
strips down
remember.
to his underwear and goes, "Let's play animals, rock!
Yeah.
Come on, Casey!
Yeah, yeah, no.
Animals
yeah,
don't wear
that-
clothes."
That actually, yeah, that made me. Oh my god, I remember. That gave me. I had such a visceral like. I was playing Minecraft while watching this movie, right? And I literally like left the game.
Also,
I was in such shock.
Yeah. Mood from Casey, the fact that the following scene was her with a loaded shotgun pointed at him like, do I or do I not?
I mean, I just feel as if this movie tackles two of the most sensitive topics known to man.
In the worst ways possible.
Yeah, outside of like, genocide, you don't get further than severe mental illness and pedophilia. It's like, you don't get further than that. And this movie lines up those two very sensitive topics and then proceeds to do a bowling ball, and it doesn't even strike. It misses whole entirely, and an asteroid comes down and just destroys everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, Cameron, what did you think of the film before we give Kai and Karina the mic? I'm edging
Uh,
towards.
Okay. I, I mean, it's a pretty common consensus. I fucking hated this movie.
Everyone hated this movie.
Like, there's no. I don't have like a hatred, like, or a hateful rant about this movie, or the hatred that I have for the Hunger Games or anything like that, because I don't want to give this movie the time to even discuss it that much, because it was just so shit.
Mhm.
It's very obviously M. Night Shyamalan being like, yes, I have a lot of money. I'm going to make another movie. and then he decided to make it about pedophilia.
Yeah. You see,
Yippee!
Cameron, that's good for
Hate
you.
this
Not
shit.
giving it the time of day. You're being the bigger person. I'm not going to be the bigger person when it comes to
Now,
my
see,
turn.
you have a bit more of a personal relationship with this movie.
I have a bit more of a stake in this conversation.
Just a tad little bit.
Just a tad. You know what the worst part? I despise this movie. Not just because it influenced like our experience and the media's view on DID, but also just like shit to do with our past host watching this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So many little droplets, but I'm gonna let you finish your conversation, your thoughts on it.
I mean, I don't really have much else to say. It was just fucking terrible, and
That's fair.
M. Night Shyamalan would then go on to make The Beach That Makes You Old. So,
I'd like to point out before that came out, he made Glass, which was the
Okay.
end of said cinematic universe.
yeah, good.
I mean,
And yet it's somehow worse.
this movie has like 1 or 2 shots that I thought were pretty good, and the rest of them are just serviceable
Literally,
for a horror.
literally, like I think like yeah, 2 or 3 shots. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
No.
it's 2 or 3 shots that I think are like, okay, that's good. Everything else is like perfectly serviceable, like horror stuff. And I say perfectly serviceable because I was like, yeah, this is
It's
creepy.
the bare minimum.
It's like yeah,
I'll be
I could
honest.
see this in like a budget like horror film.
If I were to give an actual analysis to the cinematography, not that I want to, or like an actual analysis of the technical direction of this movie, it's fucking god awful. There is no point. I think they decided to film it from a bunch of different camera angles and a bunch of different shot types, and they were just like, just roll a dice, see what happens, because it's not coherent at all to me.
Watching the movie, it genuinely felt like the aspect ratio changed like once or twice throughout the film.
I'm pretty sure it did. I think I
wouldn't
know
be
what you're
shocked.
talking about. Like, I think they changed it from the standard cinematic aspect ratio, but then decided to go into a more IMAX
Yeah, like midway
friendly.
through the film, it's suddenly
Yeah, because then he was like, "Oh yeah, I have more funding, so I could put it onto IMAX reels." But no, that's not how that works. First
Not
off,
how
and
that works.
also, nothing about this movie's technical direction was coherent, and you could say, "Oh, it was supposed to be because it's supposed to resemble the the split personalities." No, you're talking about M. Night Shyamalan. He's on a lot of drugs all the time.
Yup.
So, no, that's not an excuse.
Hmm.
It just was shit.
Hmm.
I didn't like watching this movie. I didn't like rewatching this movie. I never will.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey guys, maybe at some point we all meet up and maybe at some point we all meet up and we just burn a copy of Split in my backyard.
Oh
That
my
would
God.
require
Oh!
us to buy a copy.
No, it didn't change the aspect ratio. They just added more black bars.
What?
The actual file type was still in
Why?
2.39 by 1.
Why?
They
Why?
just decided to widen the bars.
What do you mean?
Cameron, I'm gonna freak out.
I made this joke already, viewers, but like I am doing the Shinji in the chair pose.
M. Night
Again.
Shyamalan, please. I would say never change, but you really should change, man. This shit was ass.
M. Night Shyamalan. Just, you know what? M. Night Shyamalan, get DID right now. Become someone different.
Look, he had something with the beach that makes you old.
Okay, I don't like the fucking... listen.
That one
Hey,
also
Old
has
has its
Hey,
pedophilia.
hey, yeah, that also has like weird stuff with minors.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
an
think M. Night
incest.
Shyamalan's hinting. I think Mr. Shyamalan's hinting towards something. That's
feel like
all I'm
he's-
Every
I
saying.
feel like
time,
he's
every time I
projecting.
watch an M. Night Shyamalan film, my overall vibe is FBI, check his homework folder.
Yep. Check his hard drive.
Check his hard drive, check his
just-
everything.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a bit of a weird fellow. Bit of an
Yeah.
odd one, you know?
He always tackles like the most sensitive topics in the least sensitive way.
Oh god,
For
no.
the worst.
Now I'm thinking about Knock at the Cabin. Oh no.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
Oh no. Think different thoughts. Think about I don't know. Think about even no, that's worse.
I'm
That's
thinking
worse.
about the beach that makes you old.
No, don't think about the beach that makes you old.
I'm feeling old.
Think about 40K. Rah!
That's what I've been doing for the past 2 hours, yeah.
Good. Think about it more. It'll help you not.
Alright, I'm gonna go leave the podcast now.
Okay.
No,
Ah.
okay, no. We've all been waiting for our designated two people. Sorry.
Did you
I
just realize the joke when you were talking about the two people? Well, I'm here.
like the designated Kyra and Karina.
4,001 people.
Yeah, the 4,001 people to talk about this, because these two, while we were waiting for Cameron to join, like a lady stood up on her date in the rain.
I mean, it's literally raining here.
I can literally
We-
hear the rain outside my house right now.
we actually started discussing the film, and oh boy, you know what? Just take it away, guys. Take it away. Go on. What do you two want to start?
You know, Kai, let's have you start this off.
Okay.
Because what we'll do is I'll probably bounce off you, and then that way I won't just rant for an hour.
Well, okay, I'm gonna start then just with like from a filmmaker's perspective.
His
Like
middle name
okay.
isn't even Knight. Sorry.
Alex hearing that is the same vibe as the guy going, someone sent me a picture of their first soda saying, what's in the fridge? You wanna know what's in the fridge? There is no fridge! I lied!
Sorry. Go ahead. That's the top thing on his trivia on IMDb. And that
Wait,
just
wait,
was
what
like,
is his middle name?
What is the moment?
Not fucking Knight. I don't care. It's probably like Jacob or something.
They don't have
Okay.
it listed?
Fuck people whose middle name is Jacob, I guess.
Okay, so so I'm gonna start with talking
That's
about
a name
this.
I can't pronounce.
So
Just go ahead.
ignore all the misrepresentation, which I know is hard because it is literally just there. Ignore the weird stuff with minors. This is just objectively just a bad movie. Like the script was bad, the writing was bad, the character like the character there was no character development. There I bro, I don't even know, it's just bad. Like I was literally watching it and I was just sitting here like there's like okay, so okay, there is one specific character who or like one of the alters who is a 9-year-old
Hedwig?
child called Hedwig. And okay, look, I haven't been around a lot of children in my life. I try to avoid them as much as possible, if I'm being honest. But I
Valid.
remember what
Valid.
I was like when I was 9 and what my classmates were like. That Hedwig was not written as a 9-year-old. They were written younger, which is fine, but if you're going to write someone that way, at least make them the right fucking age. Like, you could argue that some children, yes, do have different developmental stages and some can just act younger than their age. But it was like, I don't know, man. Maybe I just don't interact with enough children. Cameron, you can probably talk on this more since you're the childcare worker.
James McAvoy, when... Oh my god. Oh,
He did his best with a bad script.
And bad direction.
And bad direction. And bad production.
To say the least. Jesus Christ. So... James McAvoy, when doing the 9-year-old stuff, I feel like there was I feel like there was someone in the background, probably Mr. Shyamalan himself, being like, infantilize more. Go further
Oh,
beyond.
you're so
Goku.
fucking right.
Goku,
Yeah.
go further
Further
beyond. You
beyond.
can do it.
That sort of
Yes!
that Go Plus Ultra.
Yeah, exactly.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Also,
Because oh, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say on James McAvoy, his acting was it was good, but I will also point out that he said in an interview, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't fully remember it because I remember when I was like a few years ago, I watched some video that talked about various mental illnesses and disorders and stuff in media, and Split was brought up, and they mentioned that in an interview, James McAvoy said that he got advice from like psychologists and that sort of stuff about how to portray DID and that sort of stuff. Which I mean, I don't know. He probably did his best, but at the same time, as far as I'm aware, a lot of people in the what's it called psychology community, I guess. Um,
Yeah,
a
you could
lot of
say it like
them
that.
denounce this film because it is just so fucking awful as
I
representation.
actually, Karina can back me up on this. I actually, after watching the film, was talking with Karina, and I went through this, like the Wired or one of those magazine things where they have a director on and they go over like their top films and give like a little like small little tidbit
Oh,
or fun thing
those.
from the set about it. Like M. Night Shyamalan covers his top films, and Split was in there, and he said that I quote, the perfect person popped into my life once again right away with James, who was really like knew a lot about the subject of the film. Doesn't mention DID. He just says the subject of the film. Um,
Pedophilia.
and then I and then I don't put that
Oh
on my
no!
list.
Please don't
Projection.
tell me James was on the Diddy party list. No.
But like fuck that threw me off. So James. I then looked up because, like Kaya, I had heard the same stories that he hadn't really done a lot of research, and I looked up. Granted, it was from a Quora article, but it was one of those
I
Quora
love
answers that
Quora.
was. But it was like one of those Quora answers which was actually had its sources cited,
Mm.
and he said
Nice.
on the Today Show that he apparently, like that article that Cameron just put into the chat, was brought in after Joaquin Phoenix left the script
With days left
with
before
like a
shooting.
couple weeks left, like 2 weeks before shooting, so we didn't
Mm.
have time.
Glad to know this
So
is a common theme with him.
yeah, so uh he then proceeds to first off, M. Night Shyamalan's lying. Another perfect person had entered in, and that person left the
Left.
film, and so then James McAvoy had to fill in for 2 weeks. So he then asked some doctors, like, there's a toad outside that won't shut
I
up.
was wondering what that was.
No,
That is
that's a tree frog.
that frog is really hitting you with the. Oh.
Yeah, either way, he he had to ask a bunch of doctors, like he had to ask a bunch of doctors who told him some basics of how DID works, but he didn't have enough time to get into the weeds with it before he was shooting. And quote, I couldn't find anyone part of the DID community who could talk to me in that short period of time. So let it be known, he actually was going to go try and find someone, multiple people in the community to portray this properly. So I stand by Professor Xavier only doing this for the bag, okay? And he's not a bad actor. He's, again, one of the only redeeming parts of this film is his ability to act.
It is
But, like,
impressive how, not having DID, but managing to portray that many different characters and making them all feel distinct in that period of time was fairly impressive. Still fucked, but
yeah, still fuck, but it's not on him. He
It's
would have tried.
it's sort of like this is more regarding M. Night Shyamalan and his complete lack of research, which I don't think he ever does for any project he ever works on.
Beach that makes
It's
you old.
I don't
It's
even think he was the
very-
only writer for that one.
it really reminds, and I brought up this show before we started recording. It really reminds me of 13 Reasons Why, because when the show, so when it went to pre-production, right? Which by the way was like produced by Selena Gomez. Um,
Fucking what?
she had some anyway. A lot of pretty much every single like therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, everyone who they talked to was like, "Hey, don't do this," and so they did it, i.e., showing Hannah's attempt in very graphic detail, and I've seen the clip, and I'm like, what the hell? and then like after several copycats, and like, do you guys remember in high school when your parents were getting emails about like, hey, don't let your kids watch this film? Because
Yeah,
I do. Um,
I remember that.
Now when you watch it on Netflix, first of all, the scene's been removed. Second of all, they now have a message being like talking like, oh, we care about your mental health and yada 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 yada. Like, how about you just follow the professional's advice in the first place?
And just don't make it.
Oh.
It's giving Logan Paul suicide forest.
I'm gonna film a dead body. Ooh. Um, it's every day, bro. Um,
Wrong Paul brother. Wrong Paul brother.
No, I'm pretty sure he'd do
no,
it.
that's Logan.
Logan and Jake did
It was
that.
both of them.
Was it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was both of them.
Oh my
Logan
god.
started it, and then Jake started doing it to mock him when they were beefing, and then he started unironically doing it in his vlogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just gonna go look at the Adam Sandler IMDb to calm my mind now.
Adam
but
Sandler, what are you doing here? I'm just waiting for them
Waiting
to
to
play
play
Gangnam
Gangnam
Style.
Style. But yeah, bro, this movie is just so bad. Like this, like Alex
Oh,
said, the cinematography is passable. There was the very rare shot that I sort of went, okay, I see the vision. Um, the Okay, this might just be where I watched it. This might just be a them problem, but like it the sound mixing was passable. I don't know much about sound, but it was alright. I don't know, man. If I was the editor for this movie, I think I would have like quit.
You see, if I was the editor for this film, then I would have my 13th reason why. I would have, good old, how do I word this without getting us taken down and demonetized?
Yeah, you're our guest here, man. Don't get our channel cancelled.
I would have taken a very long swim. You know what? I would have made like our prime minister.
I love naming swimming pools after someone who went missing in the ocean.
Yeah.
Just before we let Karina go absolute balls to the walls, because we gotta stretch out this runtime, I just want to make a remark.
What do you mean
that
stretch out the runtime? We're at 44 minutes.
we've got to stretch it out longer, just like the movie. Anyway, speaking of the beach that makes you old, M. Night Shyamalan is usually the only writer on his projects. That's one of his only movies where he had two co-writers, so
And even then, it was still,
just do with that what you will.
yeah.
I don't understand
anyway.
how he's so popular. Was it-
It's the same reason why
Crap.
Zack Schneider. It's the same reason why Zack Schneider's popular.
Well, what was the movie that made M. Night Shyamalan like big?
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
I See Dead People. Yeah.
he did Sixth Sense?
Yeah.
Popped his cherry
Oh.
early. He's addicted to doing twists and shit. He popped it early with Sixth Sense where it worked and then just kept doing it. In Signs, which is a film about aliens invading the world, the aliens are allergic to water, which you may think is a clever twist until you realize that they've invaded a planet which is 70% water. So it's like, huh? In this movie, the twist is pedophilia. In Old, the twist is the beach makes you old.
And also
Also pedophilia.
Also pedophilia.
And also, you put the baby down for 5 seconds and it dies from being abandoned. That is an actual plot point in Old.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the beach made it old.
Yeah.
But now, going off the rest of his work, Karina, take us on a journey.
What page do you want me to start with?
You mentioned something about the therapist. Let's start with the therapist.
Oh, that's actually interesting.
Okay, hold on. Let me find which page that's on.
Bro wrote a
Let me
thesis.
actually find which page that's on.
The,
I have
the
4
system
pages.
came together to write a thesis.
This is the old notes that we wrote fucking ages ago when this idea was fucking proposed. Okay. Let's start with just this little snippet I have here. Right. First of all, psychologists are not that pushy with their clients in practice. Worked in the industry, been on the receiving and giving end of being a psychologist? No, you are never that pushy with a client. Often that will just result in them pushing away and ignoring you and or cutting you off entirely, which means that you failed the participant. Boom, crack, you've lost money, you fucked up. Right. Following on from that, let's go into the storage of information and documents. Why do you have the physical documents in your house? That is stated to be her home. Why? Okay, first of all, why on fucking earth is your practice your home? You've doxed yourself to your clients. Never safe to do. Don't fucking do that. That's a bad idea.
Especially when, like, you're working with someone who has
When you're
stated
working with
that
someone-
they could be dangerous.
Yes, when you're working with a participant who has stated that they could be dangerous, and you've worked with various clients, they may have, among DID, other very, how do I say, explosive trauma responses. You don't know when that's going to happen. It's why normally you don't be pushy with them. Sorry, phlegm. It's why you don't normally be pushy with them, because if you're too pushy, you don't know if something you say is going to cause a traumatic response, which often can be quite either explosive, rescindent, they'll start cutting you off, or they might just attack you. You don't know. The other reason is, until you've spent enough time with your client, you don't know what other comorbid conditions they could have. There are plenty of participants out there that have very life-altering conditions, which is unfortunate, but also can make them rather risky to work with. Not naming names, but my workplace, for example, at one point, this was like a previous worker, one of my co-workers accidentally leaked our office address. That co-worker was fired. But at a later point, we had a participant threaten to bring heroin needles to the workplace to forcibly inject us with heroin.
Oh.
Sounds like
It's
a
a-
Friday evening.
It's why you don't share any personal addresses with participants. It's a safety risk
Yeah, you know,
for
makes
yourself
sense.
and them. Because because also by law we have to have our workplace boundaries. They cannot come to see you outside of your hours. You organize for the earliest possible time within your work hours, nothing else. Because then you're stopping being professional and it's being personal. Which leads me on to the next point. You don't go into their home after hours. Especially unsupervised. Because she does that in the film. She goes to his home, is really pushy with him, goes into the home, and then starts snooping through the house. And what happens? She fucking dies!
Crazy.
Classic white woman in a horror movie.
Right. Further on from that, back to the files, right? You don't store, by law, you cannot store your files at home. Doing so can very easily lose your right to practice with participants. Straight up. You can lose access, because in our country, we have an association where you kind of run yourself through the Psychologist Association. It is who keeps us in check. If you are found storing your client files at your home, you can lose your registration, cannot be legally a psychologist. You still have your PhD, can't practice, cannot take anyone from the NDIS, cannot take anyone who's a minor. It can lose you your job. And I know that places like the United Kingdom and America have similar systems in place to make sure that doesn't happen. And it pisses me off how much she does it. Because we see that it's not just the antagonist's files that she keeps. We see that she has files on every client. Let alone losing her job, that could realistically get her millions of dollars in fines because of how many are sitting there.
It's also just like a risk.
yeah.
Like, what if your house burns down?
That too, you've lost all copies. You've lost all copies, or if someone breaks in, someone could find those files, confidentiality broken. The only thing I will give her about her file taking is that the identification from what we see is not there. It is de-identified. There's not a name on the label of the folder. It is marked as 141-this. It is de-identified. Problem though, that's only the file. The case notes that she takes are very likely not de-identified. Because you can't de-identify case notes. You have to have an accurate representation of the events. Right. That's that. What's next? Not really something really to have a go at, like, her... That's not to have a go at, like, her, like, work and practice. But the fact that she has that much availability as a psychologist is so fucking wild.
Hey, yeah.
Like at
She
one
can just
point,
like
the
meet
night
him at like
before-
any time.
Yeah, like the night before, he's like, "Hey, meet up with me, please," and she's like, "Okay."
I bet.
Organizes it as it booked in the next morning. He shows up. That is wild to me that she has that much availability in her specialization.
I feel like that's a sign of something.
A little bit.
One could argue that it's meant to show how she's shunned from the the psychologist like community because of her, you know, her theories and such. However, I'm not going to give M. Night Shyamalan that credit because I don't think he thought of that.
I'd also like to point out the emails that is set. We can see a timestamp in the film. It's something like 7, 8 o'clock. Most psychologists stop taking in clients. They go home at 6. Most psychologists don't work after 6 o'clock because when it's that late, it starts becoming a health and safety risk. Because light is gone. You are working with clients who can show risky behaviors. You don't want to be in the dark if that's the case. Like, also, psychologists are required to have separate emails. A home email and a work email. They are not allowed to access their work email from home.
Really?
Yeah, no. You are legally required to have 2 separate emails. Your work email and your private email. You cannot be able to access your work email from home.
How does one do that? Like, how does one police that?
Simply put, there is annual audits. Every
Ah.
psychologist every year submits an audit to the Psychology Association. Every
see.
single year. And they review your emails, your case notes. Like, are they up to date? Do they make sense? And your practice and your clients. And they actually contact your clients to ensure that your practice is safe and secure and actually upholding the standards, which is great. This lady would not pass that.
I'm not surprised.
But yeah, no. So she has her, again, further on, pushing back into the point of you can't have your practice at your home. She is accessing her work email from home. So we've already got her on like 4 different points where she would have lost her license and lots of fines. All right.
Man, people are... Who fucking... M. Night Shyamalan, you're a fucking idiot.
Yes, he is.
Like,
Bro
just
would
straight up,
rather
man.
die than do any like ounce of research into anything.
Bro is like the fucking the draw 25 or actually do research. Picks up the fucking 25. Right. Also, the way she talks to the system as a whole is very aggressive in nature.
It's very condescending.
Very condescending, very aggressive and confrontational. She actively points out demanding to speak to another altar. You don't fucking do that. That'll end badly.
Wait, she what?
In the film, she's talking with Dennis and says, "I would like to talk to Barry."
Yeah, no, that's not
Yeah,
allowed.
I heard that, like,
And
yeah,
keeps
that's
actively
like,
saying, "You don't do that.
yeah, I heard that it's like a thing, like, you don't just ask to speak to someone.
You don't ask to speak to another altar because there's more than that altar in a system. They're all part of the system." And any fucking competent specialist would understand that.
Yeah, like the only time you should ever bring an altar to the front is if they're like front locked and there's a situation which they need to be in.
Yeah, there are some situations where it's necessary. You don't just ask though and try. Also, she threatens saying, "I have the ability to do this." I could say your trigger phrase, Kevin Wendell Crumb, to bring out the quote-unquote original altar. Fuck that, by the way. Not how DID works.
I don't know how that works.
But in some situations, particularly in the way that she's been talking, in some situations that could be seen as a positive. But in the situation and how we've seen her interacting with the system as a whole in the film, that is purely negative. In some contexts, you can use the statement of, I can bring this altar to the front, but I haven't due to the fact that I am supporting you. You are a system as a whole. I am supporting you all. That is normally a supportive thing. But due to the way that she's been antagonizing them, being really pushy, she's not using it as a, I'm going to support you. She's using it as a threat.
Yeah, which is really weird.
I love threatening clients.
No, the only reason they did that was the obvious setup for the end. But it's like,
Yeah,
part of me feels as if like at any point near the end she could have just pulled the Kevin Wendell Crumb thing. Like if she really had that many suspicions and it was always just one alter who'd come out and like and would like send her like 20 billion emails, then realistically, that considering she's already a bad therapist, it's like, why didn't you pull this card before you were hugged to death?
Yeah, I was gonna say, why did you spend time writing it down instead of saying the fucking phrase?
I guess I get it that she was drugged and whatnot, but it's like before then you could have said it. You didn't have to. Like, if you thought that these two alters were like, you know, doing something very bad, then why didn't you just fucking say it?
Yeah, why didn't
Also,
you just...
did we ever actually find out who was the one sending the
It was everyone in the
emails?
system.
It was the
Oh, it was
members
just
of the
anyone?
system that weren't part of the Horde.
Oh,
Originally,
okay.
it was just Barry, but then when the Horde were really going to go forward with their plan to actually, like, have the beast consume the impure. Fuck that. That's really stupid. The entire rest of the system was like, hey, help, help, help. Like,
I
what the
see,
fuck is
I
your
see.
psychologist gonna do? What is your, like, 70-year-old therapist gonna fucking do to what you classify as the beast?
Mm.
I see.
Continuing on. What else do you want me to cover on?
What
'Cause I've
else
covered a
is
good bit
in
about
your
the
what else
psychologist.
is in your thesis there?
Oh.
What
Okay,
okay.
let's-
Points that we haven't already covered.
Littles can't consent.
Yeah, that was odd.
That
Yeah.
9-year-old was doing shit that a little doesn't do. A little cannot, like, consent. Why are you showing, like, a 16-year-old making out with a little?
It actually reminds me of a scene from House, because my mum has started rewatching House,
Oh god.
and
No, we won't be covering House on the podcast, I don't think.
no. Um, and basically, it's this episode with like a chick who has like cancer or something, and she's like 9 or like 10 or something, and she asks this like adult doctor to like kiss her because she's never been kissed before, and he actually does it.
Ew.
Cringe.
Isn't yeah, that's fucked up. Like the other thing
It's like,
is
why is this like a
yeah.
thing?
Like this little also this I cut to like 15 minutes in the middle of the movie and I got just fucking blasted with why is this supposed 9-year-old tucked into bed with a 16-year-old with his leg like wrapped around her.
Yeah.
This is not no, stop it. Stop it. Straight to jail with you.
Yeah, because like when I saw that, I thought it was like one of the other. I thought it was what's his name, Dennis.
But
And
no,
then I was like,
it's
hey,
Hedwig.
wait a minute.
It's fucking Hedwig. And that's fucked up to me. That's really fucked up to me. I also dislike the gaslighting of the little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fucked.
Ah, yes, child. I'm gonna gaslight the fucking child,
Gaslight, gaslight.
I'm going to gaslight the child. Did she groom the child? I'm just processing. All this is kind of like not a very extended variation, but in a short time, she started doing what are the signs of like grooming a child.
Oh.
Those were like the starting steps. You show them attention. You start talking with them. You fake interest. You start to pull away interest to get them to come closer and listen. They start looking to see what they can do to stay friends with you or be nice to you. So you tell them what.
Oh.
She genuinely started grooming a child,
And-
a little.
Oh shit.
And
She's
again-
also a pedophile.
again,
Also.
One could argue that it was done on purpose as a reflection of her own life. However, once again, I'm gonna say, M. Night Shyamalan probably didn't think of that.
It's the ancient debate. Was it intentional or is the director an idiot?
Based on what we know so far of our script, it's the latter.
Yeah, let's be fair.
Let's be
completely
honest.
Like, insert that one speech. Insert fucking wolf in sheep's clothing. Let's not get overzealous here. You've always been a huge piece of shit. If I could kill you, I would.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah. Continuing on. What else do we have here? It's moving away from the little, but still focusing on the manipulation tactics. Miss Patricia, the female alter who kind of plays like a motherly role within the Horde subsystem, as I call it.
Also like a Catholic.
Also like a Catholic. One thing that is very
what?
on... Her whole shtick is that one thing I noticed in her manipulation tactics, very cultic, very cult-inspired. Like, she's doing exactly what a cult would do. Sharing activities where, like, where the group does things as a group, even mundane things. Eating and making, like, the shit you would try,
Oh
like, cults
wait, that
do
was
to
the
get
same
people to connect.
character. I thought that like Miss Patricia from the
No, her
beginning
name-
and the other and
No.
the other people. I thought that was a different altar.
No,
Oh.
Dennis is the pedophile. Miss Patricia's
Well,
the cult. They're separate altars.
No, I mean the like the so you meet her in the beginning, right? And then they have the part where they're having dinner and stuff. I thought those were two different altars.
No, those are the same altar. So she makes use of what are typical cult tactics. Like cleaning each other, braiding each other's hair, making food together, eating together, spending time together, lighting candles, prayer together.
I love
These are
Midsummer.
typical things that we see when cults want to try and make a sense of family to get you to stay. She's doing typical cult tactics to get them to kind of like not try to escape, try to keep them there.
Yeah.
Thankfully, she wasn't given enough time. Based on what we could tell, she wasn't given enough time to actually kind of cement that. Um,
Well, I mean, I don't
yeah.
know, because like Anya Taylor-Joy's character does. Oh.
What she does, what we can, from what we can guess, she does it out of pure survival. She believes that if she doesn't misbehave, she will have the greatest chance at an opening.
Oh no, I
Which we,
mean like the what happens in Glass.
oh, that, yeah, yeah. Yeah. For those not aware in Glass, she kind of falls in love with the horde system. Um, once
Just
again,
why?
once again, she kisses Hedwig.
Again.
Yeah, again.
Ugh.
Right. Continuing on a bit. With Dennis and Patricia as well, they're... I hate it. I'm trying to find stuff that isn't just pure bad about this. And I shouldn't. And I'm not going to anymore.
Do you guys want a fun plot hole to break up the trauma?
Yes,
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
please.
That'd be nice.
Okay, something I noticed.
Still got like another hour left.
I was kind of looking for plot holes in this film because it's part of like the M. Night Shyamalan like viewing experience. So I remember how the first time they try to break out of the room, they're like, oh, they just redid this room, so this is all new drywall, and then they proceed to start eating the drywall. They don't do that. I just like to imagine they did, so the movie's more interesting.
Eh,
And then they
I
find
feel like I
out,
was eating dry while watching this movie.
and then they find
huffing
that
asbestos.
then they find that on the roof there's a little bit of thin drywall where there's an air vent. How was air circulating into the room? If the
Hey,
air-
yeah.
Oh my god.
if
Yeah.
Oh
the
my
air-
god. Oh
if
my
the air
god.
vent- If the air vent to this room was sealed and they'd been in there, and, okay, so they're saying that they put this drywall in there, and then he went to go get the girls. So the drywall must have been set for a while. They got his stuff, then he went to go grab the girls, then put them in there. A brief bit of air might have gotten through like the door being opened, but it's also underground, so don't bet on it. So these girls, for a couple of hours, if not like nearly a day, were in a room where the main air vent underground was covered by drywall. And then they just cover it up again.
There's even
And Anya Taylor-Joy should have been suffocating by the end of the film because
Well,
they
I
covered up
mean,
the air vent.
there's gaps under the door, there's
but
gaps
like
in the doors.
that's a very limited like airway. That's still like depriving oxygen.
True.
Yeah, it's still very, very low oxygen.
There's another plot hole that I noticed in the film, right?
Go on.
In the film, in the background, we notice some dates, some calendars, some specific times, including including the date that they started working there at that zoo. They'd been working there for about 3 years, right? I call it like on the date, somewhere around like March 2013. 2013, 2014. So here's my question. How did the shotgun get there from Kevin if he hadn't fronted since 2012?
Huh.
Aww.
Huh.
How did it get there?
The more plot holes you point out, the more pissed off I get at how bad this movie is.
Like how
Like
did
on a fundamental
because he says
level.
I have an old shot. The more annoying part is he says I have an old shotgun. It's hidden behind the cabinet. The shells are in our maintenance locker. But the last time you fronted was before the job.
Yeah, that was one thing where it's like, you haven't fronted in so long. How do you know where the
4
gun and the
years.
yeah, plenty of years, longer than you've been working here, and you know where the gun and the bullets are.
And the fact that the gun and the bullets are there and the rest don't know.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you put them
yeah,
there.
yeah. How did okay. I understand that like there are just things that like Like, not all alters will know everything that another alter does, right? That's kind of like the part of the point. But,
Yes.
like, for 4 years? How did not. Like, there's 22 other alters. How did none of them. Well, 23 if you count the beast. How did none of them find out for 4 years?
Also,
That's pretty impressive.
I mean,
I'll be
you could
honest.
say that they
Yeah.
just have really good. What are they referred to again? Like the ones who are in charge of making sure others don't know certain things.
gatekeepers.
Gatekeepers, yes.
That's kind
like
of
you
what
could
Barry's
say,
role was,
yeah.
but that got taken from him.
Yeah, you could say that they just have really good gatekeepers, but like at the same time, 4 years.
Also, is that how gatekeepers even work? Because I know that
Not
Johnny's...
entirely.
Because I know that Johnny's a gatekeeper, but I can...
They
damn it.
don't. Gatekeepers, at least the term as most people interpret it, they don't push people in and out of front. They let and stop certain alters from fronting. It's not like they can just be like, you're fronting right now. No, they're like, okay, yeah, you can front. No. Jinx, no. Yeah, so it's also a dramatization of gatekeepers. Patricia and Dennis are also dramatizations of persecutor alters. Massive dramatizations. Because what they're doing, they believe that it's supportive of the system. It's letting the world know of their existence. But they're doing it in a way that actively harms the system. Which is what a persecutor does, but this is way further than what a persecutor would do. Like some persecutors will maybe I don't know, they'll, hate to say it from our own experience, they'll fake having DID so people will figure out they're quote unquote lying so people won't find out that we have DID.
I can. Yeah, okay.
That happened to us, by the way.
I could like see why they would think that, I guess.
It's flawed logic.
Yeah.
It's their job. They're kind of like a protector where their job is keep the system safe, but they do it in a way that's not always the most supportive and safe.
Yeah.
Often more confrontational methods instead of, oh shit, we're getting out of here. These are heavily dramatized and are also not helping with stigma. Where else do we go with this? Where else do we go with this?
What was some other fun plot holes?
You're trying to not dive right back into... That's valid.
It's just, just before we do it, I'm just trying to cap it off with it because I like odd numbers. Oh god.
Kai, how long have we been recording for?
Hour 13. To be fair, I did start recording probably like a few minutes before we actually started talking, but like, Cameron, we may beat the Hunger Games.
Oh my god, really?
How long was the Hunger Games episode?
Like an hour 30. Something like that.
We might actually pass Hunger Games.
Hold on, let me go.
We might actually go past Hunger Games because I've only gone through like a page and a half of 4 pages.
Yeah, let me go to my Google Drive, like where I keep all the archive recordings.
You know what? I will look up on the internet some split plot holes. You just go rapid fire some of the stuff.
You're doing research? Take notes, M. Night. Where else do I go from here?
Hit the really
heavy ones?
Oh.
Are we hitting them really heavy nails? Because the heavy nails aren't written on the sheet.
You know what? Go ahead. What's something heavy that isn't written on the sheet?
Right. Okay. So, this is a controversial pick. I'm going off of our experiences here. I do not like the interpretation and perception and representation that they did with Casey's sexual assault in the movie. I do not like the fact that her only personality traits are I'm traumatized and I'm antisocial. Fuck that. Fuck that. I despise that with a fucking passion. Because when that's all you see in media representation, it pushes an awful mentality onto people who do suffer from sexual assault and trauma from that into just, I am a victim. That's what I am. And that fucking infuriates me beyond end. Beyond the DID thing, beyond the OCD and the pedophilia, it is not good representation that this world needs. It is fucking horrendous. Am I saying that there aren't? Am I saying that there aren't people who do that? No, there are definitely some people who fall into that. It's not the majority. It is not the majority of how that happens, of how that goes. Moving on to a different top. Moving on to a not so heavy nail.
Oh, please.
Where is it? Where is it? Fuck.
Come on, get to the research,
Hold on,
MB. Come on.
hold on.
Okay.
Our longest episode was actually the bonus episode, the second one of the tier list, which was an hour and 48 minutes.
Good God.
Hunger Games was
Alright,
an hour 33.
We're passing that today.
There is no reason. Here's a plot hole. There
Okay.
is no reason why the other alters couldn't just directly alert Dr. Fletcher of the problem by sending emails about that instead of merely arranging appointments.
That's a good point.
Hey,
yeah.
yeah. Why are
Good
they
point.
being cryptic? Like, if this is
they know at this
like
point.
if this is genuinely a thing that they are genuinely concerned by, why are they like
If they have
unless
the time to send that message, explain.
unless they're being stopped by the others, but like that wouldn't make sense because there's still, if they were being stopped from saying what the reason was, they would have just been stopped from emailing her altogether.
Another one is in a revealing mistake. I'm looking at IMDb. In the close-up shot of Dr. Fletcher's degree scroll from Tulane University, the School of Political Science is misspelled as political snissies.
Political snussies.
Political snussy. Oh my God.
It's political sissies. In addition, her degree of psychology would not be awarded by a school of political sciences.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Psychology is not a political science.
Hang on. What? It's medicine, technically.
It's
Right?
a social science as well as a developmental science. It's a science. Full stop. Not a political science. Sorry. People classify it as a social science in their technicalities, but in actual practice and at universities, it is a science just like chemistry, just like physics, just like biology.
Even in high school, it's included in high school science now as like
Yes.
one of the
they changed it to a
sciences you can
science.
take.
Yes. It's really
Which
fucking
I'm
silly
kind
to
of
me.
sad that that it wasn't offered at my school. But anyway,
Haha. Anyways.
my school sucked.
It did. It's when 90% of...
Here's one thing that I just found a bit stupid. When the beast, quote unquote, comes out derogatory,
Pop off, King.
and he's like, running across New York
Bro,
Yeah.
his goofy R run.
It's so stupid.
for some stupid reason. Anyway, because of that, he runs past some cops, and the cops see him run past, and the dog goes ballistic.
Oh yeah.
But then the cop goes, "It's just a coyote." What?
Yes, it's
Why
just
are
a
there
coyote in the
coyotes in
middle...
the middle of New York City?
Well, no, not just that.
Would you not be concerned by a coyote?
No. It's not just that. In the lighting, you could see a man running. He was looking up. He was not looking across. He looked up and he saw a fucking man running across. Second thing, it's an American cop. He would have gone, a poor person, and then just immediately opened fire. But third thing is, if this was really realistic
Skinwalker.
to like, this is a really realistic to the American healthcare system, Dr. Fletcher wouldn't be doing the checkups. It would be the cops. Like,
Yeah.
the American healthcare system is so bad that they don't really have support workers. They just use cops for everything. which then means that, there's a large amount of, death by cop when people are having episodes. Cops just don't know how to handle it, so that, just kill the person. Because
Yeah, some
It's why our
people.
country has decided that they might add mandatory mental health training
Yeah,
to
some people
to cop training
actively
programs.
like because they want to die, actively
Death
like
by
get the
cop.
cops.
It's death by cop. They sprint at the cops, acting threatening, hoping they'll shoot.
Exactly.
It's
like,
Oh, must have been coyote. Me 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 me.
motherfucker. What kind of coyote?
This is why
Motherfucker,
I'm
what coyotes
saying.
have you
This
seen?
is why I'm saying it's a skinwalker.
Brother,
Also,
what fucking
okay, okay,
coyotes have you seen that are 6'6", built like a fucking shit house?
okay. So why were they on the train?
I think it's the whole idea that it's
he
a
has
beast. It
autism.
enjoys the hunt.
Oh, that's different from what I said. I was just assuming that M. Night Shyamalan was being, a bigot
M.
again.
Night
That's
Shyamalan.
that's what I assume it is, but that's still fucking stupid.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait. What
that
did
whole
you
part.
say?
I said autism.
Oh.
Ah, yes, the autistic urge to just sprint,
I like
jump off of the train, and
trains.
start sprinting.
I mean, yeah.
If you're autistic, why are you running away from the train?
See, I mean, I sort of at first I thought that like, oh, maybe it was the others like leaving, but then I was like, no, that can't be it. I'm so good. Why was he on a train?
Also, here's I have more stuff on this bullshit. I have more bullshit,
Oh,
more
let's
plot
go.
holes to this fuckery,
Go on.
more
I'll
bullshit
find.
to this
I'll,
fuckery.
I'll find more plot
Big
holes.
big question for this, right? So there's a discussion, heavily discussed, about how some alters, several of the alters, physically change between alters, right? Like Jane has diabetes and the others don't, right?
Is that actually a thing? That's not a thing, right?
Yes, it's actually a statement. Jane
No, no,
is
I mean
taking an insulin.
like that. That's not actually a thing in real life, is
No,
it?
no, it's not. No, the brain fires. The brain works differently, but you don't suddenly, oh, big, strong. Oh, fuck, I got diabetes, type 3. Uh, the bullshit kind. But like, so according to DID, it can make his skin hard enough that, so they describe him early in the film that he's bigger than Dennis and he has a long mane of hair. So you're gonna tell me that switching to the beast can make the body physically taller, bullet
Have him
resistant,
grow
and
hair.
climb walls. Why didn't he grow hair?
See, I
Bro,
sort
he was
of
going Super Saiyan.
Where are the limitations?
see. I sort of like interpret it as like that's like what they look like in the inner world,
The inner world.
but
Yeah.
like
It's not. We actively see.
Yeah.
We actually get a description
yeah,
from
yeah.
Dennis
Then he actually
about what
like
the beast looks like in the inner world.
then he actually shapeshifted, and I was like, huh.
It's like, oh, he'll just be the same height as Dennis, and it'll be fun. No, he's like genuinely taller than Dennis, and I think they confirmed Dennis is like 6'2". They actually all have different heights.
Bro, honestly,
Um,
we need to like do a watch of this movie, but like drink every time we go. That doesn't make sense.
But we actually see it in the film with the heights, standing next to Casey, early, like Miss Patricia, standing next to Casey. They're not that different in height. They're about the same height. And then we see Dennis, who is towering over them. And then we cut to the Beast, who's once again towering further above them. And I'm sitting here like, that's not how DID works. DID does not give you the ability to sort of bench press a fucking truck. Does not give you the ability.
I mean, it's not in reality. It's not actually DID.
No, it'd be an adrenaline rush, but that's
Yeah.
not how adrenaline works either.
No. Literally, it's not DID at all. It's a supernatural thing.
Supernatural.
It's-
If you go and watch Glass,
Supernatural, you
it's
say?
Oh no.
Well, okay. I have an issue with when directors do that. And I know you're not supporting it, Cameron, but I thought I may as well just get it off the chest for the
Oh,
group
please
here.
do.
But like, I have an issue with directors when they do bad representation, and so they think of some excuse that's like it wasn't really that in another work, you see. They do a separate work which supposedly fixes the problems with the first one. Now, I get that franchises are technically art, right? I get that there's the whole like
Eh.
well, no, I mean like there are such things as trilogies for a reason, right? Things can be made with the expectation that you've watched something before it, or the expectation that you'll watch something after it, right? It can work. Like the original Star Wars trilogy, it works as a trilogy, right? Plenty of
Spider-Man, like
Spider-Man,
Spider-Verse, uh,
Spider-Verse. It's
Lord
like
of the Rings,
Lord of the Rings. That's another
Yeah,
one.
Lord of
So
the Rings is a
like,
big
Pirates,
one.
Pirates of the
How to
Caribbean.
Train
yeah,
Your Dragon.
At least the first three. The last two kind of sucked.
yeah, but either way, there is expectation that you'll watch the next one and it will explain some things. But if you've done something objectively bad with the representation, that's a different kettle of fish. Because you can't just go into the second film and say that everything that I did in the previous one was actually a misdirection. Because that's not a twist, that's a retcon. There's
That
a
it's
two
giving Nikocado Avocado. I'm always 2 steps
I've always
ahead.
been 2 steps ahead.
When a creator does that, that doesn't feel like, oh, they're going back and rectifying a mistake. It feels like they're going at it like an art teacher goes to correct your work on your piece of art, where they
Mm.
just like scribble all over it to make changes.
Yeah. Anyone else have that high school trauma?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My art
but
teacher made a
like
girl
I don't
cry.
remember it. I don't remember most of it. I know we did, but
I mean, it's this horrendous excuse that they do as a way of saying either I've learnt or saying that, really everyone just didn't let me finish. But no, he did the first film. I mentioned this before we started recording, but I wanted to mention it again because I think it bears repeating. In Silence of the Lambs, the main killer is supposedly a fake trans person. No joke. Buffalo Bill, according to Hannibal Lecter, is not a real trans person. So he thinks that he's a woman, but he isn't actually. His brain is still the one of a man. Not to mention the incredible pseudoscience that it is. It doesn't matter whether or not the film was trying to make a distinction between real trans people and fake trans people, because the distinction thoroughly just does not exist. And in the eyes of the audience, they're not going, oh, are you a real trans person? That just gives them more audience. That just gives the audience more of a reason to be afraid of trans people. The same thing goes for Alfred Hitchcock's film. But like the one thing I can say with
Like
Alfred
Psycho?
Hitchcock's film, yeah, Psycho.
oh
Psycho,
god.
the main killer is trans because their mother died and kept abusing them, and so he
That's
hates all
also
women.
another piece of very bad DID rap.
So it's like, well, this is a bit stupid. So with Split, it doesn't matter whether or not supposedly in the second film it's, oh yeah, this wasn't actually DID, it was this third not known thing actually, and therefore I didn't do anything wrong. No, you made a movie which made any person with DID feel like they're possessed by an evil beast that is going to eat people.
You
The
still did damage to a community that you still took a community that was already finally getting back to normalcy, and then you set it back decades.
Yeah, because the
We're
movie
the
made like
DID community is still actively trying to undo shit that Split did to the community.
yeah, it's like the movie made over $200 million. At a certain point,
Really?
yeah, it's
Yes,
one of M. Night Shyamalan's most successful films.
it was a commercial success.
That's why they
Because
made a
it's M. Night
sequel.
Shyamalan.
It's like
Absolutely despise him in his entirety. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow,
cow.
dishonor on your family.
A plague be upon your family.
Curse
I
of
don't
Ra
know.
be upon ye.
This film is
Womp
like in the
womp
same tier
womp.
as Sharknado for me, but not for the sense that it's like an abhorrent piece of quote unquote art that represents everything that is wrong with the modern day society. Um, but just for the fact that it's just so horrendously like crude and vile and and hurtful. Like as someone with trauma myself, I I, I don't think I think we all have trauma, but it's like everyone on this call. I mean, we all have trauma. I can guarantee you, it doesn't give me superpowers. It gave me depression, which makes me very ineffective some days. Some days I just wake up and I can't do any work despite the fact that I want to. Like I'm working on a film right now. Shout out Wizard Joust. And it's like
Oh my
some
god, Wizard just mentioned.
but like sometimes I'm the director for that, so it's like a lot of responsibility, but the way that my brain works, some days I just can't do anything. Like I'm medicated, yeah, but some days I just wake up, I go to sit down, and it's just like nothing. Nothing's happening. And that is a symptom of my trauma. And it's like, man, I wish I got superpowers.
Bro,
I just can't drive a car.
bro, if we could switch between alters and actually gain superpowers from it, I wouldn't be speaking with any of y'all fucks. We'd be off doing some other shit. Because I'll be fully honest, if we could do the shit that the Horde could do, it'd be a coin flip if it'd be a coin flip if we didn't go on a fucking rampage.
Not based.
Like, there are two sides of that coin. Either we'd go on to be very vocal about the mistreatment of disorders and not getting punished for it because we're fucking bulletproof, or there would be cars getting thrown through politicians' buildings.
Based. I think we should all throw cars at politicians' buildings.
I kind of don't want to. The only cookie I'd give to a character in this film is like a yellow cake cookie, and make them eat it. That's yellow.
Oh,
cake
we're giving
for
cookies
rainbow.
now?
I'm giving
I
them
mean,
a
we
piss
can.
cookie.
I've still got more.
Oh my god, I don't actually even have a cookie prepared. Fuck.
You don't.
I'm
have
not
to.
giving a
Cameron,
cookie.
you never have a cookie prepared.
You know what? It's
I don't
close enough
wanna
to...
Give a
It's-
cookie to this movie.
You know, I'm not giving a cookie. What I'm doing is I'm giving a dry ass motherfucking KFC biscuit to M. Night Shyamalan.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up, man.
It's just fucking
That's messed up.
deserved. He had it coming.
Nah, no one deserves that fate. That's fucked up.
Nah, M. Night deserves it. I hate this bitch. If there
You
are
know
no,
what?
if,
You know what? I hope that his pillow is never cold.
Oh.
if there are 10,000 M. Night Shyamalan haters, I am one of them. If there's 100 of them, I am one of them. If there are none, I'm fucking dead.
I mean, yeah, I thoroughly agree. You know what, Karina? Lightning round some of your criticisms. Go.
Okay, lightning round some of my criticisms. Firstly, very easy. We've covered this plenty of times. Trauma is not a stage of evolution. It shouldn't be. It's a response when your brain has to very quickly adapt to something by doing something else or die. Often that results in very hostile support systems for yourself, which can often make things hard to function outside of that environment.
Predator autism moment.
Get out of here with that. Right. Why is the child alter interacting with people? Full stop. You don't do that. They are a child. They shouldn't be interacting with people unless it's like a genuinely safe environment. That's really stupid. Go fuck yourself. Set design. Fucking awful. It's the same 3 goddamn walls 97 fucking times throughout the film. I hate it. It's awful.
The mise en scène
Very-
was not hitting.
It
There
was
was
not
no
hitting.
mise en scène. Where
I
was
mean,
my
they
mise en
literally-
scène?
Mise en scène being the French translation of me on scene. Nah, I was out of that scene.
Where's
It
my
is
miso
not me
soup?
on scene. It is them off scene.
Look, I'm just gonna say it to be ableist real quick. Like they had the perfect opportunity to make an eclectic serial killer lair and like
And they
fully go into
didn't.
to the ableist depiction that all the serial killer personalities have like different corners and they only did it for one room. Like,
Yep.
come on. If you're gonna do ableism, at least, do it right.
Right.
Yeah, be good at it. Like, come
let's-
on.
Let's push on a bit more for this. A little bit more of a lightning round. brain-made alters can happen. Your brain can split new alters, however, often this requires stress. From what we saw, there wasn't any stress. The beast just kind of showed up.
He was chilling, and
He
then
was
just
he was chill. He was simply vibing in the non-existent soup,
Bro
and then
was
just
been
kind of
chilling.
been chilling, and then he just showed up, and he was there, and then he was a problem. And we see him in the next film. You know what? You know what's even funnier about later? Further connection to Glass. His running style changes. Between Glass and Split, he goes from running on his two legs to just running on all fours all the
that's
time.
really funny.
That's really funny.
It's really stupid.
You know
it's
what,
not
Karina?
even like
I've changed my mind. I want to watch it just so I can see
This was
that.
good.
it's not even like bear walking. He's like dog running, where he's throwing his two arms forwards, catching himself, and then swinging his feet past his front arms, and then launching
The
himself.
fact that they
Motherfucker.
made James McAvoy do that just makes me really depressed, honestly. This poor
It's
man.
very sad.
This poor man.
Motherfucker,
He didn't deserve that.
Didn't deserve that.
My boy was.
Actually, that's
who
who I'm
Roland
giving
was
my
modeled
cookie to.
after.
I'm giving him a Thin Mint, James McAvoy.
Motherfucker claims to be the pinnacle of human evolution, then runs on all fours.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I would like to
The
point
glorious
out.
evolution, Alex.
I would like to point out the human body actually hasn't fully evolved walking on twos. That's actually something we've realized, and it's why back issues are so prevalent in older ages. The human body has not fully evolved walking on two legs, because that happened within the last 15,000 years. When before that, we were walking for about a good couple 100,000 years or so, we were walking on all fours. That is a recent development in human history, and that's why we get back pain. Fuck you, Darwin.
Man,
Anyways,
what the fuck? Man, why would you
we're
tell me
still-
that?
We are born too late to walk on all fours, born too early to fully evolve into walking on twos.
Man, now I
Alright.
just have chronic pain.
Yeah, it sucks. I understand. Comorbidities, they're shit. Anyways, continuing on, more lightning round. Furthermore, we also have a little bit of discussion about I'm so fucking sick and tired of mirrors being used in media to represent conversations with DID. I'm so fucking sick of it. Stop using the idea that we're broken as a way. Like, they're all at the end scene, they show all these broken mirrors and they show each of the shards, and I'm really fucking sick of it.
It's like the autism jigsaw puzzle.
Yes, it's like the autism jigsaw puzzle, and it's just kind of portraying the idea that DID systems aren't they're broken, and I hate that. It's really sickening, and I'm really tired of seeing it in media. Hollywood, do fucking better, please. Then
You're asking way too much of them.
do better, or I'm going to go fucking apeshit.
Yeah, I think it would be actually interesting, if we ever do another bonus episode of just like how should characters with mental disabilities, and DID and all the sorts, illness, disability, should they actually be written in sort of fantasy and
I am a
sci-fi?
surgeon.
I am a sturgeon, Dr. Han.
I think there's like a line. I don't think it's fine. I just don't think anyone can aim between like demonizing them and infantilizing.
Why is that so funny?
Just
Bro, they have stormtrooper aim for writing mentally ill characters.
it's just, I'm not gonna call it a thin line because it can be done and it's not that hard. It's just
That
Be
line,
associated with a cob.
that line is
Guilty
thicker than-
proves nothing.
That line is thicker than a snicker. That line is thicker than a snicker, but everyone is fumbling the ball. Everyone's fumbling the bag so hard. Like, they're shooting pickup lines, they're shooting log lines for their movies, they're just missing the mark so badly.
It's like, oh, what
Man,
if-
log lines are hard.
it's like, they are hard.
They
but, like,
really are hard.
they're hard, but like Jesus Christ, it's like what if we had the disabled character be evil? No, what if we had the disabled character be like really purposefully annoying and like a child?
What if we
Mm,
had
aren't
the
you
disabled character be the stereotype of being asexual because only disabled characters can be unlovable, and therefore they must be asexual? Looking at you, creator in Arcane whose name I don't remember. Anyway,
Oh, the executive producer, one of the producers that decided that Victor is asexual. Yeah.
yep.
Right. Continuing on a little bit more. I find it also really fucked up that they use the comparison of them being in a zoo the entire time to portray the fact that they're a system, like a quote unquote bunch of caged animals locked up in a close proximity. I hate that. Stop
Yeah.
it. That's really fucking vindictive and awful, and that's a very bad metaphor to draw between the characters. All right, so that's 1 point, 2 point, 3 point. Practical effects. Separate point to DID. Brother, why is he?
Brother,
Why he's so vascular? He's veiny all over. That's why. Like you don't need to you don't need to have his veins popping out to tell us, oh, he's muscular and strong. You can show us that without just having it be the most veiny motherfucker ever. Like, you don't need a shotgun to take him down. One fucking paper cut and that's it. Lights out.
He's got gains, bro. Don't worry.
That's not gains. That is someone who's on a 17-month trend cycle and is about to fucking die.
No,
Bro, I
you
just
want-
need some more pre-workout. Do you have any?
No, stop
no,
it.
you don't understand. You see, he's the peak of human evolution, which means that his body automatically makes Tren.
He's walking trend. You
See,
know
he's
what?
a-
That would explain
Walking trend.
walking trend. Right. Continuing on. The Beast is shown for like 5 minutes in the film.
It really doesn't do much.
He is shown for 5 minutes in the film, and what does he do in his 5 minutes? Kills a 70-year-old, 2 teenagers, and that's it. And then he can't kill a girl with a shotgun.
Said teenagers were also probably like severely dehydrated, malnourished, and wouldn't be able to fight back.
For the so-called peak of evolution, he's really not peak at anything. Also,
I mean, he did survive
why...
a gunshot straight to the
Oh,
abdomen.
he survived a gunshot. Yeah, he survived a double-barrel shotgun at a range where it loses its effectiveness horrendously.
True,
What was
there
the
is
range?
there is a case of someone being shot point blank with a shotgun in the head and surviving. So
It wasn't point blank.
exactly.
She shot the bitch from like 8-9 meters away. It's an old-style double barrel.
No, okay, hold on. Whoa.
Oh no, we've activated the gun nerd.
That gun.
It doesn't matter. 8 to 9 meters would not miss.
8 to 9 meters through metal bars.
An
From
effective.
someone.
Okay, no, I'm sorry.
Also, hold on. Furthermore, so this girl who's piss weak, starved, dehydrated, who has never actually fired a gun.
Oh no, she has.
She
a hunter.
has.
She was
That was
training.
the whole point of her backstory.
No, but
She was
killed-
training, but she
killed-
used
she
a
killed
hunting
that-
rifle, which has a significantly different firing and recoil
No, I'll
to
agree
a
with
shotgun.
that. As someone who has a firearms license, yes, that is true.
The recoil is very different between a hunting rifle and a shotgun.
Now, okay. Hold on.
I will concede that, sure, it would fuck him up. But her
Okay,
landing
8
two
to 9
shots-
meters.
8
in
to
a-
9 meters.
And it was, I forget,
Through
was it
metal
even a
bars.
sawn off?
No, I don't.
They didn't saw down the barrel at all, did they?
I don't think so.
Well then no, that's not gonna fucking miss. That would 8 to 9 meters, that's basically all pellets on target, if not like 1 or 2 missing. He's dead. Straight
Really?
up.
Still shooting through the metal bars?
It doesn't matter.
Metal bars doesn't
The
mean
sheer amount of
shit.
pellets that go through it would go through.
The metal bars might affect like the spread pattern, but like it depends on like what kind of shell and what kind of like.
There's also shrapnel that, like, unless by some fucking quantum physics that M. Night Shyamalan shit out of his ass, that all the pellets that would have actually, like, killed him hit the metal bars and ricocheted backwards, which is not how it works. Because, you know, you'd have to basically perform a slit experiment with, you know, a double barrel shotgun, yeah, he'd be fucking dead on the spot.
Okay, I think we're getting a little caught up in the fact that
No, this is a gripe that I have with this movie.
You know, then you see, I said something
Cameron
talking about
needs
the
their
feet in the
gripe.
shot in the movie, and now Cameron's more pissed off at
I got
thin-
activated. I'm a fucking sleeper agent.
But here's the other thing. Here's where shit gets wild. We talk about this beast. We talk about all of this. We talk about him surviving shotgun shots. You know how he dies in Glass? Because he fucking dies. All of them
Good.
die. Glass dies, Unbreakable dies, and he dies. He drowns. Not even by, like, some super strong guy. Some regular fuck-ass guy holds his head underwater. And he drowns.
Yes, peak of evolution.
The peak of human evolution taken out by some random dude.
look, I'm just saying, I don't really think it's human evolution if he's just bulletproof. I don't think there are many animals which are just firmly bulletproof.
Apparently
He's just
apparently-
Luke Cage then.
Apparently he's an quote unquote, the description is he's an amalgamation of the animals from the zoo, including the rhino, who's meant to have like a bulletproof hide.
Well, they're clearly not
bulletproof.
bulletproof. They're almost extinct.
I was asked to say, like, bulletproof.
Also,
rhino.
it's not a double barrel.
It's not?
It's not.
Oh,
It's just a pump.
It's a pump.
That's a
rhino.
Mossberg.
Yeah.
That's a Mossberg that's a Mossberg 580,
Does that
I believe.
So would that increase or decrease the killing chance, Cameron?
Oh my god, you have no fucking idea how dead that man is. James McAvoy's head would be split open like a fucking enemy in GTFO. He's dead. He's gone. You've killed James McAvoy.
And
No.
yet he just sprints through. That's the thing. His only real feat of durability, his only feat of strength is breaking the bones of a very old, frail woman. And his only
He's
feat
barely even fucking damaged.
He
And
pulled
his
the
only
bars. He pulled metal bars away.
So, breaking a frail woman's arm. So he spends 5 minutes on screen. He does 2 feats of strength and 1 feat of durability.
Are we power scaling James McAvoy right now?
No, I'm just talking about what the fuck kind of peak of evolution does. If you're gonna try and portray someone as a peak of human evolution, in his 5 minutes of screen time, I would expect a little bit more than kill an old lady, kill 2 teenagers, bend some bars, and get shot with a gun. I understand that he should be dead, but also I don't think M. Night Shyamalan really cares about how effective a real-life gun would be.
I don't
Okay.
think he has
I'm
ever
rewatching the
researched
scene
anything in his
now.
life. Okay. You know what? I think M. Night Shyamalan would use ChatGPT.
Oh,
probably-
fuck yeah. Why do
he
you think he
probably
made the beach
has-
that makes you old?
No,
probably
that movie
has.
That movie's so.
So
stupid,
so
though.
Cameron, you're
Like,
rewatching that scene right
I'm
now.
rewatching that scene right now. Okay, so first off,
We are.
The
This
first
is
shot-
officially the longest episode.
the first shot is the one that's fired from slightly further away. It is about. It's not even 9 to 10 meters. That's about 3 to 4 meters.
Oh my god, he's
Right?
so dead.
The spread pattern is so condensed that there has to have been a choke on the shotgun, even though there isn't. First off. Second off, they're all barely surface entry wounds.
That's not.
I don't
on.
care how like low power or how little black powder you have inside your shotgun shell. If you hit the shoulder, the left shoulder of someone, one of those will penetrate the heart. James McAvoy is dead.
Wait, hold on.
Like straight up.
Wait.
No,
Cameron. No, I'm supporting you here.
I beg you rewatch this scene right now.
I'm supporting you, Cameron. But this also points something further out.
He's a Time Lord. He has
No,
two
no.
hearts.
No. It passes the skin which means he doesn't have a bulletproof hide. He's got bulletproof muscles.
Oh my
He-
fucking god.
Alright, that
Oh.
doesn't
thumbnail
have
is like
bulletproof
nightmare
skin.
fuel, honestly.
That is nightmare fuel, but it's
How
not
does
bulletproof
this work
skin. It's bulletproof muscle.
No. Question then: how does he work out
He doesn't.
if the
He
muscle?
doesn't. He can't. He's on like 17 days of Trent.
Yeah, he is walking Tren and steroids,
No,
Alex.
that's why he has to have a trend creator. Is because he can't gain muscle any other way. He's just always injecting trend.
He doesn't even inject I wouldn't be surprised if, like, later down the at some point later down the line, M. Night Shyamalan just goes, "Oh yeah, so the way he has his super strength is like, due to DID, he develops a second gland in his brain, which causes the creation of tren in the bloodstream.
I
The
Man,
tren
fuck
gland.
this movie.
The tren gland, if you
genuinely.
will.
Genuinely look at it where I need to go back a couple frames. I'm gonna send a screenshot of where the entry wound is. That's on his heart. Fuck. No, that's not what I wanted to send. That's the first injury wound. At least one of those has penetrated the heart. If you're firing a shotgun at
That's
straight
the
up,
heart. Not just
You
the heart.
killed him.
That's not just the heart. That's your lung, your heart, your rib cage, every
Again,
fucking
okay.
artery in your left side.
Whoa. That was a huge thunder boomer outside my house. Okay. Anyways, yeah, sorry. Back to being angry at James McAvoy not being dead.
yeah, viewers. Just because Chris is
Oh
in
shit,
Korea
I
does
just
not
had
mean
that
we-
thunder.
Same
Oh,
here.
oh, holy shit, that's crazy.
Oh shit! I just heard it now.
Oh my god, what the
Um,
fuck? That's
hold on, like-
crazy.
But like,
Even God's pissed off at this fucking movie.
Bro, this
Yeah.
movie sucks.
God and the toads outside my window. are
Also,
all
we've been
very bad
recording for
about
almost
this.
2 hours.
Oh my
Look,
god.
just because Chris is in Korea does not mean that we can't have a pedantic Chris segment. Okay, we know
We
what
do
our
get a
viewers
pedantic
want.
Chris segment. There's got to be.
No,
It's not the pedantic Chris segment. It's the pedantic segment. It has to be
No,
one
no,
every
no,
episode.
No, it's the Chris segment.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
This
man,
is the obsidian glass all over again.
Hold on, let me get Chris. Let me get our Chris in front. Let me get our Chris in front.
No.
No, put him back, put him back.
Put it
Back in the box.
Back in the box.
you weren't there when we spent the first 30 minutes of our prey review covering whether or not the Native American tribes would have had fucking obsidian axes. It's called the Banana Chris segment for a reason. It
I
happens to
actually-
stand by my point.
It's
Do
a
I have
pedantic
anything? Do I have anything else actually noted down in my 4 pages?
Oh, I'll be free. Actually,
No, there's still more.
No.
hold on.
Oh my god, yeah, no, it literally pierces. No, it doesn't. I'm rewatching the scene. It pierces the muscle. His heart is fucking.
So he's
Uh,
not
Kyle?
even bulletproof.
How many minutes have we been recording?
1 hour and 54 minutes.
We are.
And
if
I'm
we go
really
for-
glad that I'm recording these onto my hard drive now and not my computer, because I don't have the
if-
storage on my computer anymore for this.
if we go like if we go for like more time and we cut just a bit from the beginning, we will officially have the episode be longer than the actual film.
Oh my god.
That would be funny.
Wait,
That would
wait,
be so funny.
how long is the film?
An hour,
117
57
minutes, so it's about hour 57 minutes.
How did you have that off the top of your head?
I
I
rewatched
bet.
it earlier today.
Yeah, if we talk for like another probably like 6-7 minutes, yeah.
Okay.
I
sorry.
forgot about the scene. Oh my. Oh, he's literally fucking coughing up blood, and yet he's still. M. Night Shyamalan, you fucking hack.
Okay, I do have another point to bring up. For those people at home, we've already discussed how DoD won't give you superpowers. It's not the next stage of evolution. It's a trauma response that will ultimately make it hard to function in society. Let's also bring up to a point that many people didn't actually discuss when this movie came out. You're not going to develop an alter that's a pedophile. You won't. You very much won't. You will likely develop an alter that is against pedophilia, will have strange behaviors as a result of sexual assault. You will never have a pedophilic alter.
It's like those things. It's like, oh, if you were abused, you're gonna become an abuser. It's like, no.
Fuck off. That's not how the brain works. It's really not. Your brain. It's really kind of infuriating how all media consistently portrays the idea that you will become what you don't want to become because the quote unquote the brain struggles to differentiate no and not in a sentence of I will not become my parents. Your brain will struggle to differentiate that not in there and will just say I will become my parents. That's not how the brain works. That's been debunked so many times. That's a pseudoscience and a fucking half. Yeah, what else? I will give there is only one thing I will say that's somewhat intriguing to the film. Is based around the trauma we know of, with Kevin Wendell Crumb creating a mess and the mother beating him, as we see in the film. Both Patricia and Dennis both have something about them pertaining to perfection. Dennis having OCD and being a germaphobe, trying to keep everything in its exact place and keep everything clean. And Patricia making it so that everyone listens and behaves through manipulation tactics. Seems like they're trying to portray so these alters exist to clean things, keep things perfect. Only thing I could even think about with this film that kind of could make sense. But also no. That's also not how that works entirely. You're not gonna have an alter who's got OCD because of I have trauma from cleaning things up. You'll have an alter that would like to keep things clean, but you're very unlikely to get an alter that will fucking have a meltdown if something isn't clean.
Oh, okay, I need to find a plot hole.
You better hurry up. I'm looking through my pages still.
Oh my god, oh my
I actually
fucking God.
don't think I've covered everything still.
Okay, you know what we can do? If this episode does well, we'll do a follow-up episode, and it's just you reading your notes about bar for bar, band for band.
No. Okay, I got some stuff which isn't about the DID rap. The editing, they're constantly cutting from like one angle to another angle to a different room to back to the first room, back to the original room with a different angle. It really fucks with the flow of the film.
Yeah.
Trying to watch it.
Yeah, so
This is what I was talking about when I said incoherent cinematography.
It makes it very hard to follow.
One could say it's sort of like over editing, or it's like I feel like they were trying and failing to go for like a stylistic thing, because they obviously like these shots take time to set up. Moving the lighting alone, lighting is the part, other than like if you have to set up a crane for a camera and shit. Lighting is the thing that takes the longest when you're setting up a set. On a small set like that, lighting is what takes the longest. And they would have had to put so much effort into changing for all of these shots, and half of them are completely unnecessary. It had to have been done for like a reason, but I think they just failed in the editing. And see, here's the thing. A lot of the time, editors in the industry, especially when you're working on like a big project like this, like with a big name director, they don't really get as much of like creative control. But like, man,
Hmm.
This is a film where it's like, just because you have a vision in your head
just
does not
because you
mean you are
can
not
doesn't mean you
blind.
It's
should.
your vision. Don't make
Well,
it a vision of everyone else.
It should
well,
have been more like Legion if
Like
you're gonna
what?
do it. Legion.
That tells me
it,
nothing.
okay, there was when Fox when Fox was its own company, it leased out the rights to one of the X-Men characters called Legion, who was
Oh, Xavier's son with DID.
yeah, him. They made like a 3-season TV show.
They did?
Yeah.
I feel like I gotta I feel like I'm obligated to watch this now.
You kind of are, yeah, you fucking idiot.
Man,
I've never
if
It
I
wasn't
had
that good.
if I
It
had
wasn't
a
that
if I
good.
had a nickel for every show and movie that had bad DID rap, we were
Doom
literally
Patrol
we
isn't
were
the
going
worst.
through like a few shows, you know, Danganronpa, Total Drama,
Sad that we live in a society where our current, like, the best form of, like, rep that the media really has for DID
Ace
that is
Attorney.
more mainstream. No, it's fucking Moon Knight. And it's not even that good.
Actually, what? Actually, have you seen Crazy Jane from Doom Patrol?
I have. It's not perfect. It's mediocre rep. It's I like it, but I understand it's mediocre rep.
Damn,
It's
you
doing
are
better than
right.
everything else. It's not portraying us as a fucking monster
See,
or an
I
actual
heard
or
that
like incompetent.
I heard Ace Attorney has good rap.
I don't know anything about the Ace Attorney franchise.
I do. Hello.
Hi, Cameron.
Hi. It's alright. It's better than every other piece of media I've ever seen covering the topic.
But it's
But
still
it's
mediocre.
look, DID is so much of a complicated topic that you can't really portray it in media well. I feel like you can to a
You
degree, but
can. It's called consulting the fucking systems.
yeah, but it's so hard to actually portray it.
Well, okay, I think I get. Okay, not saying that I get in the sense that I sympathize. I understand why people do it. I think it's because it's one of those cases where the human mind in the world which we live in is one of the most vastly interesting and intriguing things to actually dive into, but it requires a vast comprehension and understanding and a lot of nuance that simply narrative stakes don't allow for. If it's like, if someone's trying to write a narratively engaging story, they should logically try and consult all parties to figure out like the most authentic way, because if they really went down that path they would get some cool narrative, like having to explain some things, because like some narrative restrictions are good because it forces you to think of solutions, right?
Hmm.
But with the case of something like DID, I think the whole we actually have people who have quote multiple people inside their head sort of blinds people from like trying to figure out how that works, because that sort of dumbs down the mystery of it all. We've had years upon years of it being like exoticized to the broader public, that simply directors don't want to concern themselves with having to explain the question or have these people be seen as human, because that ruins their narrative stakes. Split just doesn't work if you have to see him as human. Sure, there are people in there which, you know, you're meant to see as like regular ass people inside that system, kinda, but they're not given nearly enough screen time, and it's also they're begging for you to kill them. It's saying that we have dangerous people in this system who will just cannibalize young women if you don't kill all of us, which is like a really bad ethical discussion to impose upon a whole community when it isn't really an issue. But for the sake of the narrative, they have to have this cannibalistic altar which will just eat you because your parents didn't beat you, you know? So because of that, they just don't bother to, hit that very thick, very easy to hit line of, you know, they are people who have a situation that is so incredibly hard for us to understand, therefore we should consult them. They instead go, I'm not going to consult them, so that way I don't have to feel bad when I misrepresent them.
Hmm.
That's my
Wonderfully summarized analysis of our media industry and narrative devices with DID.
And just
But
like
I
that, this episode is longer than the movie itself.
let's
Let's
go.
go.
I would like to point something out that makes it even more funny how comically bad this movie is. How the fuck does Bakugan have better DID rep than you?
Oh my god.
That's not even a fucking joke. I'm not even joking. Masquerade
Yu-Gi-Oh!
is
That's
No,
that's crazy.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's crazy.
I hate that. It's crazy. Yu-Gi-Oh! And Bakugan have better DID rep than the movie about DID. I hate it.
Actually, you know what? Transformers 1984.
Transformers nice.
The Quintessons canonically all have DID. It's not bad. The Quintessons are evil despite all of that. The Quintessons are evil DID queens. They
Split
will-
swing from the 2004 animated Transformers.
It's like the Quintessons. Like, say what you want about how fucking confusing that film is. The Quintessons all
I felt like I was on an acid
DID.
trip.
And all canonically are evil, but like that's nothing to do with the multiple personalities. That just makes it easier for them to make people guilty, so they can throw them in the big shark pit and watch them die.
It is genuinely astounding how much media has better portrayed DID than Split, and movies where it's genuinely stated that they have DID. Like Masquerade and Bakugan was. I'm a little iffy with Yu-Gi-Oh because it's DID as a result of magic.
Funny
little-
pyramid.
I'm a little goofy with that.
I mean,
Masquerade, from what we know, Alice, and Masquerade, the two alters of the system that we are aware of, from what we can tell, genuinely, Masquerade's not evil. He just likes to be a little shit. And also the fact that, like, what we know from the show is Alice's parents aren't there. They aren't involved with Alice. It's never explained in the show, but, like...
Hmm.
That it's all we know is that they aren't really on speaking terms. So...
Huh.
Interesting way to put that.
Oh my god, it's been so long since I watched the fucking Bakugan anime. I think I last time I watched it was like when I was 10.
Give it
Oh
a
my
rewatch.
god.
That shit still
Oh.
slaps. That shit still slaps to this day.
Hey,
Um,
I knew how to play the Bakugan card game. No one fucking did.
No one played the card.
I learned it because I was a Bakugan nerd.
Do you guys want a fun fact about Bakugan to really just fully cement this episode going off track?
Oh hell yes.
So basically, when I was a kid, my mum was like scared of anime for some reason, and was like afraid it was gonna make me like violent or whatever. And the
Mhm.
anime that like tipped it over was Bakugan. Bakugan was the reason I wasn't able to watch anime for like a good solid like first 7 years of my life, because it was apparently too violent and concerning.
Oh.
Bakugan things.
Huh.
So anyway, on that note,
Yeah, let's...
I
shall
hope
we?
I want everyone to know who thinks that we've wasted their time. This is an infinitely more productive use of your time than Split. You now never have to watch the movie.
Yes.
You can send me thanks by I'll give you my bank account details for you to send me thanks.
I once again reiterate, my cookie is a dry KFC biscuit given to M. Night Shyamalan.
I'm giving
I'm
James
just gonna-
McAvoy Thin Mint.
I'm just gonna jerk off into a puddle.
Okay.
Can I join?
Alrighty. Huh?
Oh, I guess it's
Huh?
Cameron's
Sorry, what?
response.
Anyway, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Adios.
Bye.